Hey guys, today's video is going to be about apartments in Japan and specifically what is often not included when you rent apartments here.
Right, and you'd be surprised at what's missing from the apartments that you get, but we'll get straight
into it.
Let's do that. Okay, number one are the lights, and specifically the fact that there aren't
none.
any. Well, there are lights in the bathroom and whatnot, but the main lights in the larger rooms, like the bedroom, living spaces, are completely missing. And not only are they missing, they usually don't come with any fixtures that you have the bulbs attached to. So you've got to get them as well.
Yeah, so we're not talking about just, needing to get a new light bulb or something. There's actually not a light fitting there. You have to actually get a specific light, and it's usually like a type of light that you just pop in and twist. So they're actually quite easy to install, but they are kind of expensive.
They are.
Yeah,
they are.
so...
Brand new, the cheapest ones that we've seen are about 6,000 yen, which equates to about $60.
And they can be much more expensive than that. Obviously, there's some that are like several hundred just for one light.
Sure.
So yeah, if you need them for several rooms, that's like a cost that you have to incur when you first move. Of course, you don't have to get them brand new. We highly recommend getting them secondhand, and especially because there are a lot of people coming and going out of Japan, especially within the foreign community. You can definitely pick some of those up much cheaper than that. But it's still something you have to think about when you first move in, because lights are something you need right away.
Yep. But when you get them, they're pretty fancy, aren't they?
Yeah, they have remotes and different settings and stuff like that.
It's like dimmer. There's a dimmer.
Yeah.
And 3 standard kind of settings.
Usually, right?
Bright, not so bright, and really dim.
Thanks for that explanation, honey.
Right. Dim.
So it's actually really useful, right? When you are in bed and you just have the remote, you can just turn off the light. No one has to be the one who has to get out of bed.
Yes, especially in winter. It's too cold.
That would never be me.
No, it have to be me. But yeah, so lights. You need them.
Okay, moving on to number 2, which is the stovetop, which surprisingly isn't included in all apartments as a standard feature.
No, not at all, right? I remember going in to see our first few apartments and noticing the fact that there's this massive cavity where the stovetop should be when we inspect the kitchen. And initially we thought, the first apartment that we looked at, thought it was just this particular apartment, but apparently not so.
No.
Pretty common.
Yeah, it's pretty common. So if you are searching for apartments online, it's a good idea to check the photos in the kitchen, and you can usually see if the stovetop is missing. It's pretty obvious. There's a dip in the counter, and that's actually for you to bring your own stovetop. So that's an added cost that you may incur if you do get an apartment like that. You'll have to arrange that. Obviously, if you want to do cooking at home, you'll have to arrange something like that for your apartment.
Right. And fortunately, for a fairly basic one, they're not particularly expensive.
I don't even know how much they are. How much
they're about, 6,000 or 7,000 for a basic 2-stove kind of stovetop. Yeah, they're not particularly expensive.
That's not expensive.
No.
But it's just a hassle, right? It's just a hassle for you to have to get something to put in the house and then, take it with you when you move, or maybe it doesn't fit the next apartment and you have to sell it off and stuff like that. So in Australia, it's pretty standard that those things come with the apartment. But here in Japan, it's not the case.
Not so much. So you'll have to check.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 3 is an oven. Directly underneath the stove, there's just cabinets. I suppose it's mostly to do with the fact that, traditional Japanese cooking doesn't require ovens.
True. Right? Yeah, usually just like a grill or something like that, but no.
Yeah, which actually does come with this stovetop. There's a small grill underneath the stovetops themselves, and it's just basically there to grill
like fish and stuff like that. Yeah,
they're not really big. They're about
they're small.
Yeah.
Not even that big. I would say.
You would definitely not be able to fit a chicken in there.
No. There's no Christmas chicken or turkey or whatnot
No.
going on in there. And what they do have is basically like a microwave oven that has a variety of different features.
Yeah.
So if you're used to oven cooking like we are and you want to make dishes that require an oven, you can actually get pretty fancy microwave ovens that, you know, do have a lot of the features. So we do a lot of cooking in our oven and it's pretty good, right?
Yeah. I think it's not only a microwave and an oven, it's also a grill.
True.
And our particular one also has a steam feature, which I'm not quite sure what we do.
Really? It has a steam feature?
I believe so.
Oh,
I believe so.
I've never used that.
Neither have I.
Okay.
All the settings are in Japanese. I've got to figure out how to use
see.
it. Or
I don't
there's a
know.
lot of buttons.
So rest assured that if you do like using an oven for cooking, you can work around it with a microwave oven.
Definitely. But they are pricey. Yeah. They can get quite pricey.
Yeah, they are pretty expensive.
Our one we got used, but brand new. It was only a year old, and brand new in stores. They were about 60,000, I believe. That's what I recall when I was doing some research. 60,000 is what, $600-700?
Yeah,
Um.
very roughly, but yeah.
So yeah, it's but totally worth it, seeing that you really can't get a traditional gas oven.
True. Number 4 is the lack of a place to hang your clothes. I shouldn't say lack of a place, but it doesn't come already provided, already installed.
Right. It's got a BYO, really?
Yeah, so what we're talking about is like, you know, usually outside you would have some kind of clothesline, right?
Right. Hills hoist.
Hills
for
hoist. But for example, in Japan, most apartments will have kind of like two ends and they have holes in them. And those holes are for you to bring your own metal bars. They're actually like bars in Japan, not like a line, but actual metal
sturdy
bars. And I guess the reason is because they're designed to hold very heavy things like futons to air them outside and things like that. So basically you get these two metal ends outside of your apartment, but the bars in between them are not provided. That's something that you have to bring yourself or install yourself.
Right.
They're not very expensive, so it's not such a big deal, but you do have to then do that yourself.
Number 5 is, talking about bars, bars in the sort of closets.
Yeah.
For you to hang your clothes on. At least in a traditional Japanese closet.
Yeah.
Which are, I suppose, designed for futon storage.
Again, futons, right? Yeah.
So they're quite deep. But because they're not designed for traditionally for clothes, there's no bars running out the top for you to hang your shirts in. They do sell kind of, whatchamacallit, those kinds of bars they're tension bars, that's what they're called. They're just held up by like spring tension on either end.
Yeah.
And then from there you just hang your shirts in. But if you have other rooms, less traditional Japanese rooms, they should technically come with bars to hang your clothes. So.
Yeah. So if you're lucky enough to have more than one room in your house, you may have some space for that in another room. Or if you don't have tatami rooms at all, maybe you don't even have to worry about this. But yeah, probably one of the things you should do when inspecting an apartment is to actually open up the cupboards and check that, because you might need to get some kind of rack or railing or something to be able to store your clothes. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the video. We'd love to know if you've ever been to Japan or lived in Japan, seen apartments in Japan, whether you've noticed these same things or if you have other things to add to the list. Please let us know in the comment section down below. And we'll probably end up making another video about some of the things that are included in Japanese apartments.
And there are a lot of cool things.
Yeah, some of those things are quite different to apartments in other parts of the world. So we look forward to sharing some of those with you really soon as well. But in the meantime, please like, subscribe, leave us a comment, say hey. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!